Hello, human family. Today, you're going to get a side of Paulette that is kind of a peek into a real side. I am so frustrated with everything. And what I mean by everything, I'm talking about the condition of the world, the condition of the way people are in the world, this young population. And I have experience with the young population because I got youth around me. And I've never in my life seen such flagrant thumbs in the what they call it, give it a thumbs nose up job. Where a person flip their nose off at you. It's like you're talking and you're devalued for your information. You're looked upon by those younger as though you are a complete idiot. And I'm gonna tell you something about me. I don't care if God bless me to live and see 102 years old and I can barely pick up one foot and put it before the other. I will not, let me say it again, I will not be disrespected by anything walking and breathing unnecessarily. I will not uh, refuse to give my input on the wisdom and knowledge that I have. A case in point, an example, because I'm really mad, so I got to get my brain together. I have lived for a sum total of the years that God has given me. And in those uh, years, I have mothered 3 children and raised them, took care of them, provided for them, provided shelter, food, clothing, medical, everything that it is required to get for a human being to exist on this planet. I have worked on jobs that were jobs of very, very difficult task. Number one, you had to be self-driven. There was no supervisor standing over me to get jobs done. In other words, an independent worker who had shown and demonstrated that they can work independently and do a job that was very, very difficult to do. So I will spare you the details of the job. But it's more or less like running a business. You're not going to have a business mind and be able to keep things all in the air at the same time. If you were doing a juggling act and you had 9, 10, 15, 20 balls, and you were able to keep all of those balls in the air without dropping one. So what I'm saying is my self-worth, my value, my treasure of knowledge, and let me add this, lived a life where I've had people step wrong, perform wrong, do wrong by me, toward others. I've got some living experience under my belt. I've lived in other cities, so I'm not a country bumpkin. I've lived in major metropolitan areas alone. Do you hear me? Florida, Texas, California. I did not get up and go to a complete different state and not having known anybody in those states and went there and set up my uh, habitation and sought employment and maneuvered and always been independent. Had my own means of transportation, had my own uh, habitation, my place that I dwelled as my home, and kept it running efficiently. You're not going to devalue me, and you're not going to devalue the information that I have. And this is what you encounter in today's world, where Satan has done his thorough job of destroying the family unit and destroying the image of the older population. Now, grant you, there are some people walking around with gray hair in their head, and I'm looking at them and thinking, boy, have you went through life a complete idiot. Boy, have you made some moves that were completely dumb. And you're old now, and you're still performing at the same level. I wouldn't take your information and put any value to it for nothing in the world, because you have proven that you're what the scriptures call you're a fool. You're a fool. Paulette's nobody's fool. Trust me. And where this is stemming from is because you you try to be helpful to people. You try. You try. Now, not everybody is going to be receptive of you, and this is understandable, and it's okay, because I'm not dealing with the whole world. The whole world is not in my face. But those that are around me, grandkids, children, and this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to impart wisdom. You're supposed to impart knowledge. You're supposed to impart information that can be utilized, packed away in these little people's mind, so that when they enter the world, they can maneuver as I did, which I feel was very successful. You don't live to get my age and be a fool. At least I didn't, because, like I said, it's some that are. They're old and they're fools, and their conditions and their circumstances around them prove them to be. Prove them to be. I'm fixing to shut it down, but I come to the garage to get just peace and sanity of my brain, because when I came up as a child, you had rules and regulations that you had to follow, and you didn't do any back talk, any back lip, and you didn't do any thinking out loud. So if your mother, grandmother, or the neighbor next door told you something to do, or corrected you, or reprimanded you in some form or fashion for something that you did, you took it and you shut up. Even in the school system, if the teachers told you something and it was correct, you shut up, or you received the wrath that followed. And I feel it made for a better individual. And this is what God meant for it to be anyway. You give the youth, the younger ones, the people beneath you in age and numbers, you give them what you got. But I'm old school. I cannot take a 14-year-old. When I tell you something, you're going to give me word for word. That never happened in my life. Because to stand up to an adult and give them word for word, you found yourself with a mouth full of fist. A mouth full of fist. So if that person that was teaching you, instructing you, or modifying your behavior, and you stood there and you tried to give them word for word, and you tried to plead your case and your side, that didn't happen. You shut up. And the same in the school. You didn't stand to the teacher toe to toe and give them word for word. You a fool. I've been trying to establish forever how to get shape and modify. And you know what? You can do better with those that are not even related to you than you can the ones that are. Because I've done this. I've gone out amongst those that had no blood of mine running in them, and give them instruction per regarding something that was done in my presence or that I was witness to. And then I would show them that they did was wrong, how it was wrong, why it shouldn't have been done, and gave them my whole little speech, and they received it and went on. Well, heck, I told you, 30 plus years in the school system, I worked with tons of kids. I worked with kids that at the time that I felt when I was running my mouth and talking to them that it was just hitting plain air. But those kids even received. I, I tell you, I got so much running through my brain, and it's too much to try to even say to the public out here. But this world has uh, affected the family unit, and it has affected the family unit across the board all over the world. You had the young having children when they were absolutely too young to become a parent. So they have no wisdom to give their offspring. And just like uh, one time I was speaking with this female, and when I say this story, perhaps she'll recognize herself. But I wasn't thinking when she made this comment to me, because if I had been, I would have put her in check right then, but I didn't. Because I told you, doing this God walk, you tend to try to be very mindful of everything that you say and how you do. But I was in a group of people, and different ones were talking about the children. These were all adults. Uh, I'm assuming they were adults. They had the numbers. Their faces looked adult. They wasn't looking like no teeny boppers. But and this is also going to show you what I mean about females. But everybody was talking, and all the different women were saying, about their children and what ages they were and blah blah blah. So well, of course I chimed in, because why? I'm a mother and I got children, and I chimed in with mine. I'm like, yeah, I got three. Mine are 6 years apart. Blah blah blah. Yada yada. And so at some point, one of the females in the conversation said, "Oh, you had your children real late, didn't you?" Well, on the surface, you wouldn't think that that was a sideways slap, but it was. Now, the visit continued, and I went on my way. But in thinking about the whole occurrence later, my thought was, hey, wait a minute, you know what? That was a, a shot at trying to blast me about I was old when I had my children. And what I wanted, when I reflected on what she said, I said, well, you know what, Paulette, you should have come back and told her, no, 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 no. I was not old. I was still a young woman, but the spacing of the children that I had, with them being like 6 years apart, it was so much to the story she don't know about me. This is why I say people are stupid. But first, I wanted to say to her, no, I had my children when I was supposed to have my children, because God gave me my children as he give everybody. So whenever you have them when you're supposed to have them, and you have them the time you're supposed to have them, because God did it. So I had three children that were live and living. But what she didn't know, I'm really the mother of 12. 12. I'm really the mother of 12 children. But I had an experience of a lot of miscarriages. And so, I'm not going to go any further with that. But the audacity of her to take her flippant mouth and make such a stupid statement, as though she wanted to try to make me feel bad or badly about the children that I have or had, when other women were probably spitting babies out like grape seeds and having them at 10 and 12 years old, 13 years old, 14 years old, 15 years old. When I came from a generation where if you got pregnant at 12 or 13, you just didn't see that anyway. It never happened. And it probably happened, but what we did notice this later on in life. Those girls that disappeared, that went to school with us, and they suddenly disappeared, and we didn't know what happened to them. Well, what happened to Shirley? Where is Margaret? Well, what happened to Barbara? Later on, we find out, and I mean much later on, many, many years later, found out them little hussies got pregnant, and they removed them from the population of children who were not pregnant. And they didn't flaunt that in your face. They didn't stick that in your face for you to look around and have questions as a child. Oh, she's pregnant and she's my age. She's 12. Oh, she's 13. You just didn't see it. And I tell you what, I think it was better. Because to embrace women now having babies and having them out of wedlock, having them at 13 and 14, and then you jump and do a baby shower and provide gifts, that ain't the way that's supposed to go. That ain't the way that's supposed to go. You ain't supposed to compliment, honor, embrace, and celebrate a hussy getting pregnant, unmarried, and still a child themselves. And what you wind up with, the grandparent more than likely having to be the real mother while the child continues off in the world, legs wide open and thinking they know something. I'm going to get off here because, like I said, I get disturbed. I just don't like the generations that the world has influenced and influenced in a bad way. I pulled the phone from my grandbaby's hand because I noticed the music that she was playing. I went to the phone and looked, and here it is. She's watching these people know what they're doing. These people know what they're doing. There she is watching a video of other little girls that's 10 and 12 years old, and they scantily dressed and bopping their little butts around to some music. See, that's the problem. That's the problem. And then they got everything trimmed down to the tiniest child. You can stick boots on your baby. You can put halters on your babies. You sick, illiterate, unknowledge fools. You got you got pedophiles out here. You got websites where they have pushing pornography. This government, this system, the entertainment industry, they pushing all this crap right into your house. When they do videos of little girls twisting their butts and behinds, scantily dressed, they're going after your children. They're imprinting onto your child something that is not or ever should be in their mind. I didn't know about sex, thinking about no sexuality or nothing else till I was darn near 17 years old. But I'm gonna cut it off because everything is so out of whack, and people are so quick to look at you and make the judgment that should never be made. You don't look at wisdom and someone that can give you understanding and growth and poo-poo them. Oh, that's just old fashioned. Oh, you just thinking old fashioned. No, you just thinking foolish. That's what you are. When I came up, you didn't have to do what you do now. My 4-year-old grandbaby, she's being taught when you go out and people are speaking to her, honey, don't be speaking to them people because you don't know who you talking to. You don't know what they got in their mind. People leave their kids in the car. I wouldn't dare, not in today's time. Shh. I have been trying to influence just my family. You know, my grandbaby 4 don't need tight fitting clothes on. Because what you ain't thinking, somebody else is. Trust me. In this filthy world, somebody else is. But like I said, being disconnected from God, you got a world full of fools just hobbling and bobbling around. You got a world full of fools. A world full of fools. Shut that door, please, so I can't hear. Shut the garage door. Shut it. Ain't nobody gonna devalue me. Not the world, not the people in it, and surely no one in close proximity of me. Because I know from which I speak. I speak with a lot of wisdom. I speak with a lot of sense. And I'm going to toot my own horn and blow my own whistle and pat my own self on the back. Because I did not get where I am from being no fool. I've made some fool moves, but when I made those fool moves, I learned from them and I corrected that pathway. But today, you just got fools abound. Fools abound. You got women my age out here still trying to be teeny bopper, still trying to be cute. Accept what it is. Nature is creeping up on your behind. God is showing you what you are, and that ain't nothing. We ain't nothing but a pile of dirt waiting to go back to dirt. So what would I look like out here trying to put on some skin tight outfit where I might have looked good at 18, 19, 20, 25, or 30? But what would I look like at this age now trying to sling on some eyelashes and smear some lipstick, you fool? You better go on and accept what it is. Because I'm going to tell you, not everybody going to be truthful. Oh, well, you look nice. No, you don't. You look like a fool. You look like a pure fool. And the men, they can be just as bad. Run around here in skin tight jeans. Put your wrinkly, dropply self in the proper clothes so you can look decent. Well, I think I done blowed off a little steam because I get frustrated. And I'm also giving up. That's why I say I'm just looking at Jesus. I'm gonna keep my focus on Jesus. Yeah, I know Jesus told me and give me the instructions that I'm supposed to, do what I'm trying to do with those around me. But when you keep on receiving kickback, baby, I'm tired of them feet. I ain't gonna open my mouth about nothing. If I see you squatting out in the middle of the street, buck naked, I'm just gonna pass and there's a fool in the street squatted out, buck naked, thinking they looking whatever. Yes, because it's all over the internet. I don't see why people just don't come on here flat out buck naked. Just be buck naked. Just be buck naked. Don't put on no clothes. Just be that way you can go straight to the conclusion of the matter. Because why should you be scantily dressed with a strip of material running across your butt? And how many ways can you gyrate? Huh. Then when you get raped, you're hollering. You're looking like a fool. When you're treated with no respect, then you're looking stupid. You're wondering why. You're treated with no respect because you're carrying yourself like a slut. That's why. You're looking like a slut. But the world, this old twisted government, this old twisted television, this old twisted entertainment got everybody thinking, even down to the smallest little girl, that you should be constantly wiggling and squirming and revealing your body parts like you ain't got no good sense. Man, bye, y'all. Be blessed. Open your Bibles. And that's why I've been pulling back on a lot of things that I say in some of the commentaries or some of the thoughts. Forget people. People ain't wanting you to instruct them. People ain't trying to go no right direction. They could care less about a right direction. Open your Bibles.